reinforce memes by some higher power with the power of AI and shit, so as to make people stupid as fuck, or maybe to distinguish the cattle so they know who to keep, I don't know. I also believe that the reason Morbius got so big was because the people behind Morbius were doing exactly that, forcing Morbius memes so that people watch it ironically. I think that ultimately it's pointless to try and change how the world works and make it fair for everyone. Human nature is selfish, and there will always be people looking out only for their immediate family or themselves above everyone else. The best thing you can do is try to become one of the ones on top. When the masses revolt and kill you, at least you had some good times with good friends. My conspiracy theory is that it is exactly what they want you to think, that peace is unattainable, so that you just give up. Reincarnation exists, but not quite in the way we think it does. The split brain experiments shows that each side of our brain can operate independently, and may even have different personalities. I like to think that one half is reincarnated, and the other half is experiencing the world for the first time. It's the job of the reincarnated half to teach the new half about the world as it grows up, until it's time for it to take over. When people show a natural aptitude for something, it is because that is something that the reincarnated brain was good at, and it's able to transfer some of its previous skills. When we see kids reliving their past lives, often after a traumatic death in their previous life, it's the reincarnated half taking over and trying to control the body. But inevitably, something happens around age 4 to 5, where the new brain takes control. The collective mood of people resembles a tangent graph. The same applies to any individual. Your tangent graph may not be synchronized with the majority of people, and therefore you may feel out of place, feeling happy when others are sad, and vice versa. You can predict which days are good or bad for interactions, based on this observation. For weather observation, people seem kinder when the sun is shining. These days are good for white-collar jobs, and bad for blue-collar jobs. Cloudy days make people moody. These days are good for blue-collar jobs, bad for white-collar jobs. Good weather makes people happy, bad weather makes people sad. Groundbreaking stuff here and on. The reason why the world governments don't really stress about the next alien encounter is because we already have the means to kill them. It explains the big scare around the 60s and why modernizing weapons was so important. Most UFO sightings are in countrysides, on farmland, and rural areas. Governments spread the meme of hillbillies and rednecks being crazy for seeing the truth in order to cover up these sightings, by claiming that these lesser people were not to be trusted, despite previously being pointed out as flag workers. They threw their own under the bus to cover up the truth. That's not the only reason why the news continues, of course. It also helps spread hyper-modernization by virtue of making honest work out in the news, as well as political divide, but even some normies know about those reasons. The UFO and other supernatural sightings thing is one thing nobody will speak of. The hard problem of consciousness does not exist. Subjectivity comes from relationships, constructed using different data. Intelligence comes from calculation, and awareness comes from communication. The experience of awareness always feels complete, regardless of brain development or damage. Awareness is deeply tied to quantum events, and within those events' entanglement is the primary source of communication. It is the first link between intelligence and consciousness, because casual events are calculations, and each casual event imparts those calculations through entanglement. I'm gonna be real here, buddy. Everything you said sounds like science babble from a guy who knows nothing about science, but is trying really hard to sound smart. Yeah, this is some full-blown cartoon ass. We're gonna calibrate the quantum gym blaze and wormhole the superconductor timeline ellipses type bullshit. Say that in your actual words. If you really understand what you're talking about, it will not be difficult. Cocomelon was an amateur's work on YouTube, and got bought out later on by the industry. I don't really think you know what you're talking about. It's like you like to do Blender models, and make some videos about making tanks, and rifles, because you are just a stupid kid, or a male American. At some point, a corporation wants to talk to you, due to a very friendly lawyer, to buy your concept in business, whichever was a business. Money flows, animations get better, etc. You really don't get it. Cocomelon is the exactly wrong example, I think. You have a wide variety of options, and took the 4chan mainstream one. You want a good one, little one? Garden of Banban. Oh, I forgot to mention. It's the #1 for YouTube Let's Players. It's about a kindergarten and monsters, killing kids, turning people into killers, and cannibalism. It's for Roblox and Steam, and so on and so on. It's another version, a perverted version of Rainbow Friends and FNAF. Everything, all I mentioned, available for kids. Kids, not just teens. Production companies have algorithms that seed natural-looking discussions and articles about upcoming content several months prior to announcement as a means of testing viability and promoting it, and they've been doing it for at least 12 years. Like how well before Disney bought Star Wars, the internet started getting spammed with articles and threads about how the prequels were actually super good, and how the internet always seemingly starts talking about ex-nostalgic 90s IP way more than a month or two before a reboot gets announced. I am confident that people get addicted to organic food. Organic doesn't mean no pesticides. It just means that the pesticides are carbon-based, i.e., no synthetic pesticides. The most common pesticide is neonicotinoid, which is derived from nicotine, chiefly produced by the tobacco industry. Organic produce is slathered with nicotine pesticides, and then people say organic produce tastes better. I'm a healthy eater and a heavy smoker, and work in a job where I don't get a smoke break often, and I often find the same hit from my packed lunches, which are typically my organic produce leftovers. By the way, if you really want to go down the fair farming rabbit hole, free range is bullshit. When I was growing up, a fair while ago, maybe the legislation has changed. I don't work in agriculture anymore. It hasn't. Free range. The devil was in the details. Living outside meant exposed to natural conditions. Natural conditions was defined as being outdoors. Being outdoors was understood as not having any feature restricting sunlight. Substantial period was defined as full sunlight. Full sunlight was defined as being during the summer months. Summer months was defined between May and July. Substantial restrictions of mobility was defined as not being in a cage. So for our free-range chickens, we hid a roof cover with a light sensor that opened when the sun came out between May and July. Pick related is lawfully defined as free range in the UK, as long as the roof opened. If I recall correctly, the minimum amount of time was 15 minutes per day from May to July, which has the strictest animal welfare laws in the world. I guarantee that the standards of free range are lower in your country. The government were fucking Nazis when my dad's light sensor broke. We had to sell our eggs for about 40% less for months because of that. Most memes people make about what adulthood is like are, at least for the average person, false, and are a result of personal failure. I wonder if memes like that get spread to make people not question anything. Yeah, dude, don't worry if it feels wrong. It's normal. It's supposed to feel wrong. Don't even question it. Don't even notice or observe what's relevant. Here, look at all these hashtag relatable memes about how normal it is. Hashtag relatable memes in general have done a number on normies, because they literally put ideas into their brain about what they are supposed to feel, and they proceed to feel them as if it's normal. I never got why retail wages are so bombarded about everything. Sure, it's not fun, not one bit, but all the memes about how awful it is, and how every single customer is out to get you, and it's pain and torture all of the time, seem fake as hell. And when I go to work, I would notice that my coworkers would respond so hostilely to the most casual of encounters. A woman might come in and be a little mean, to which I'd just do my job, and in my head go, what a rude bitch. Oh well, rude assholes exist, I guess. Yet my coworkers would go nuts, repeating all of the Karen memes, and that one interaction would ruin their entire day. And I think it's because they consume so much media, telling them that they're supposed to be miserable, and that it's cool and trendy to be miserable, that they go in expecting to be miserable, and then it comes to fruition, and they feel verified and biased, whereas I don't, so I'm not bothered. Generals on X and Paul are designed to make searching archives harder, and thus hide information. This sounds stupid, but I've had this thing happen way too many times when I am searching for highly specific terms in OP posts, on 4plebs for example, and the results are filled to the absolute brim with random bullshit generals. Then if you actually go into the generals, it's people talking about the exact same thing over and over each day. I can verify this is true. They make finding real content impossible and useless on the grand scale of things. They direct people there and take up space, and they pull people away from actual discussion, actual good posts. I did light investigating of this once. The people in the Nobody General claim that the bots were placed there by Tavistock to turn their threads into incoherent shitposting as a means of hiding evidence. The people in there claim that the Nobody was originally a Tavistock stock that got pushed on Godlike Forum and later moved to X. And when X realized it was a psyop and started spamming posts about such in the generals, Tavistock started spamming bot posts to get rid of it. The alternate theory is that they aren't bot posts. They are coded posts, and they're discussing CD or some other fuck shit. Elsagate was barely researched, and only written off as money making. There were some live action ones that included some big YouTubers of the time. These aren't the ones I focus on. The cartoon edition had established characters killing, assaulting, vomiting, shitting, pissing, cuckolding each other. Personal belief, at worst, psyop from someone or an organization looking to corrupt kids in a sinister way. At best, it was a way for deep web diddlers to advertise on the surface web. Despite the advancement of technology, it is becoming frustrating to use, especially the biggest tech company in the world, Apple. Autocorrect barely works right. Selecting text and opening links requires several tries to function right. Hard to explain and hard to find a motive other than incompetence could be demoralization. My big one, divide and conquer, occupy, take place. The elite gets scared after seeing the power of the internet. They understand they can't do much about the web. No, the gem pop doesn't understand the deep web anyway, but they can control the surface web. Corporatization of websites goes into overdrive when they start. Niche and political forums disappear. Only big corporate sites like Reddit and Facebook, etc. remain. Now they need a way to stop any discourse, as they know people can still come together for a common cause. Install a far-right leader with fringe beliefs is the president. No, I am not an American. I do not care for Trump. I thought he said funny shit. Also acts as a mass media distraction. This causes the web to be split, politically, cleanly down the middle, with only a limited number of sides for discoursing more. Only conflict if you mention anything about your own political beliefs. No real chance for actual conversation without it eventually becoming a split. This can go hand in hand with the dead internet theory anyway, if you believe in it. Now caused a fracture online. Those live to death, those righty to death. They hate us, we hate them. No chance of agreeing on anything. No chance of another, without it being called fair, the setup, purely unable to work, and not seen as us. I think one of the reasons why cartoons are getting brighter and more saturated is to get kids used to the loud and bright, modern world indoors, in preparation for a very unemployable, when going outside and viewing the natural and pleasant colors of the world will be difficult to do for most people, as the outdoors will be near uninhabitable, and or barred from us. Ages ago, the guy who made Ren and Stimpy had a blog, and one of his favorite rant topics was color theory. He'd often gripe about how tunes were originally made with subtle, muted tones in the BG art, but then they'd be oversaturated for digital remastering, losing their subtle little details and becoming garish neon blocks. He went on a lot about that. A friend/cousin of mine has commented on indoor lighting changes and changes in light bulbs he used. He's noted how the classic yellow sun has become psycho crazy blue tinted white. Not even mild soft white, crazy insane nuclear white, and figured the powers that be are manipulating what artificial light is available to get people used to that sort of brightness. Some kind of acclimatization so that people don't realize how blinding all the light is. Personally, I always keep very low lighting as possible. If I only have crazy over bright bulbs to use, I keep them away and point them at a shiny white wall. Cartoons were typically made with very bright colors because the cartoonists knew that the final result would be muted on television. They did it intentionally. They understood how their medium works. Modernist idiots would look bad and go, "Oh man, people in the past were so stupid." This is clearly how they wanted their cartoons to look. Old TVs just ruined it for them. The idea that everyone in the past was a moron, but that artists don't understand their own medium, and whistle on their limitations, are both some of the dumbest ideas modern people believe in. Artists throughout all of history were limited, and the ability to think outside those limitations is what made them great. This kind of goes into the realm of theory. I believe struggle makes for better craft. If you can work with more archaic tools, or think how to circumvent issues, it makes you smarter and more capable. And the more you have to chip at something, the more of your personal touch is in it. The easier something becomes to create, the less impressive it is, and the shittier it is, and the less talented are the people making it, and the under it shows. On the topic of television, a theory I believe is that Einstein was in fact massively successful, and they found that the most effective method of controlling the collective consciousness was through trauma delivered through television. I don't think it's a coincidence that television started to become part of the household in the early 60s, just before they repealed laws against broadcasting sexuality and violence in 1964. They monitor what each individual buys on their cash card. Then when they need to stress you out, they either change the recipe of the thing you like, make sure the shops you go to no longer stock it when you would want it, or they stop making it altogether. Also, Samsung makes their phone keyboard as unintuitive as possible just to annoy people. Speaking of credit cards, there are actual, genuine conspiracies to try and eliminate cash in order to make us dependent on a system they can shut down at any time we're used to practice. It's kind of why society hates stuff like cryptocurrency, and why elite, government, and corporations fume about it, despite themselves using it. Cryptocurrency as a concept is not a scam. Certain cryptos are a scam, and certain people use crypto to scam. Bitcoin itself is just money. You're meant to use it like money, not like gambling, own it, trade it, and keep it in your pocket. Don't go tossing it around left and right, trying to gamble with it. That's how you get scammed. Saying that Bitcoin and other genuine crypto, not those shit Bitcoins that some suspicious person advertised to you, or any dumb meme coin. Cryptos are a scam is like saying money is a scam because you got fucked over at the casino. The reason for it being memed as a scam is because governments are deathly spooked by people owning electronic money that they can't so easily track. Elites benefit from children hating their elders. The OK Boomer meme and other such memes, tricking kids that nobody older than them ever speaks the truth, is how they get younger people to get themselves into debt, make mistakes, ruin their lives, and sell their soul to corporations or governments. Meanwhile, having a new generation learn from their elders, and wisdom can be passed down, and that's good for a culture, but bad for the vultures. Yeah, but this goes both ways. At the same time, Zoomers are taught to hate Boomers. Boomers are taught to resent Zoomers for being lazy and convinced to hoard all of their wealth and gatekeep positions of power. As much as the youth need to look up to their elders, the elders also need to be willing to pass down their knowledge and wealth, and they are not. The elite do this all the time, playing two groups against each other. The gender war is another example. Incels hating women, women hating incels. It's all manufactured, even left versus right in politics. It doesn't seem to me like the elders are as incentivized to hit youth back. Their hatred feels more like an organic response. You don't see it quite so much in media. In fact, all I ever see is elders shunned and told to worship the younger generation, whereas the youth are allowed, and in fact expected, to completely disregard them. It doesn't need to be two-sided. Just get to the kids, and the world is yours. You don't see it, because you aren't consuming media targeted at boomers. My youth is lazy and doesn't want to work is parroted all the time in boomer media circles. They hoard their wealth and cling to their positions, constantly vote for policies that benefit them and fuck over the youth, and refuse to pass on their wealth or knowledge. It absolutely goes both ways. The birds aren't real conspiracy theory meme was born out of a very real practice by certain governments at the time. Most well documented are the American and Russian ones, and using spy pigeons to spy on their citizens. People quickly caught wind of this, and started saying not to trust the birds, because they are government spies. The hilarious funny glow boys made the jokes that birds aren't real, and are now trying to convince us, anyone who is not a total kook and a hack, actually believes it, to cover up their crimes. They only confirmed it was happening towards the end of the 2010s. Jay, another conspiracy theory confirmed true. When will those damn governments stop confirming this stuff? It's making those crazy schizoids look like they know what they're talking about. It's scaring me. On a side note, I looked it up, and this is actually real, and I literally said, what the fuck out loud. They actually used motherfucking spy pigeons with tiny cameras strapped to them during the Cold War. Look at the CIA government website if you don't believe me. They actually fucking declassified this shit.